Hello, everyone. This is Kerwin, and welcome to another episode of Travel Talk. Today, we have a question that's a follow-up from another question. And the question is, and I'll quickly find it. The question is, if I book directly on one airline, how do I get the points to appear in my account on another airline? Let's go. So the specific question is, if I book directly on Lufthansa, for example, flying from Frankfurt to Madrid, and Lufthansa does fly that route, how do I get those points to appear on my Air Canada Aeroplan frequent flyer account? A very good question. I still haven't finished the video on alliances yet, because I really wanted to be a little more comprehensive than I initially thought. And I started it and I made a mistake and I'm going to do it again. So I don't want to give you the wrong information. So bear with me. However, though, I did do a video on can I pool my miles on different airlines, and I answered that, and then that question, the reader came back with this as a follow-up question. And it's a very good question, because in the world of alliances, I can be an Air Canada Aeroplan member. Aeroplan is the name of the Air Canada frequent flyer program, and they're a member of the Star Alliance, which they're one of the co-founders of one of the 5 airlines that founded. But that alliance agreement says I can fly on any partner and I can get credit for it. Now, the credit I get is going to be depending on the buckets, and we talked about the buckets. The bucket is the letter that signifies how much you paid for your ticket, in essence. So and also it does cabin to an extent. So if you have like an H ticket or a Y ticket or an M or an N or an O, or maybe not O, because O I think is business class with some airlines. But if you have like in any one of those letters, then you'll be getting a certain amount of percentage. If you have, let's say, you have an F, which is first class usually, or a J, which is business class, or a P, which is also business class, or an O, which is business class, I know it gets crazy, then you get a certain amount. And I'm going to try to go on Air Canada's website with the Lufthansa relationship and see if we can find the information so you can see what I mean. So the first thing to do is, and I have my phone I'm looking at here. So if you see me glancing to the left, it's because I'm looking at the phone to make sure I get the right information. So first, let me share. And I'm going to share my entire screen because that's so much easier. And what we're going to do, we're going to go to, if I book directly on Lufthansa, so let's go to Lufthansa. Lufthansa airline. So we're going to go to Lufthansa and we'll go here. Obviously, I could have just typed in lufthansa.com, right? And I have to do privacy settings because they're a European carrier. Actually, everybody has to do this privacy settings now. All right. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to say, I want to go from Frankfurt, which is FRA, and I want to go to Madrid, which is MAD. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to say I want to go one way because it's not going to be that way. And I'm just going to go economy, and it's one traveler, so it's easier, right? I don't have to make any changes. It's just economy, one travel, easier, close. Then when I'm going to choose a departure date, doesn't really matter, but let me choose a 25th of October. It's computing fares. And oh, it's really expensive to do a little one-way ticket, huh? 73 euros in October. But that's when we're going to choose, and then we're going to close. Okay, and now we're going to say search flights. So we're going Lufthansa, Frankfurt to Madrid. And we're going to go down, down. Now, you could have booked this on a travel agency website. But you still you may not be able to put your frequent flyer number in the travel agency website, depends on how comprehensive the agency website is. But it just depends on what you want to do. So it's taking a little while. I think I should have booking music, right? Your booking and canceling made easy. Great reason to book with us. Blah, 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 blah. Just show me the fares. It's going through and trying to figure it out. But what you'll see is that Lufthansa has a relationship with the Star Alliance carriers. But oftentimes, you don't have to be a Star Alliance member to be able to get the Lufthansa points. I flew with WestJet, and WestJet is a Delta partner, but they're not a part of the SkyTeam Alliance, but they're a partner with Delta. So when I flew WestJet, I put my Delta number in, and I was able to get my WestJet points, which I did get. Okay, so it's found me a fare, which it's already told me anyway, but it said there's no flights found. Really? There are no Frankfurt to Madrid flights on October 25th? No results for this date. Okay, let's try another date. Really? There are no Frankfurt? Wow. So of all the dates in the universe, I happen to choose one that they have no flights. That's weird though. I think the system just goofed. But anyway, because they have a ton of flights. All right, so I found, let's just choose the first one. Now, one of the things that you will see is the airlines are required by law of their particular country to tell you who the operating airline is. And the reason for this is because there's a time when things were not as transparent. Oh, I hate that word. But things were not being shown as they should. And so the airlines got in trouble. So now what they have to do is every time it's operated by Lufthansa, you always have to say who is the airline that is actually operating. And operating means which airline equipment are you going to be on? So it could have said operated by, I think they have a partner, Lufthansa partner or something, and you would see that there. But Lufthansa is selling the ticket for that partner. Okay, so let's just pick the first one. See itinerary details. Just telling you it leaves at 9:45 from Terminal 1, gets in at 12:15, is 2.5 hours. Flight number is Lufthansa 112, is on an Airbus A321. Close. Now, is it different fares? All right, so each of these fares is in one of those little letters that we were talking about. We call them buckets in the industry. And so there's economy light, and these are all the cool stuff you get for economy light. There's economy classic, seat reservation included, so you don't have to pay for your seat. What you always have to do is look at the difference. The difference between these two is 30 euros. So for 30 euros, you actually get to pick a seat and you get a checked bag, which you didn't get with the other one. So if 30 euros is, if that's worth it for you for 30 euros, then go ahead and do it, right? Also, look at the difference in rebooking. If you pick the first one, you have to pay 90 euros if you have to rebook it. But it's only 60 euros if you have to rebook the second one. So these are the things that you have to look at when you're buying a ticket. Same thing now, they have something called Economy Green, which is what they recommended, which is $309. And with Economy Green, they give you 20% extra status miles and 20% award miles. This probably only applies to Lufthansa though, if you're using your Lufthansa number. And also they're saying you're contributing to the SAF is the sustainable fuel that they have, fuel program that they have, and I guess you're contributing to that. And that's what they're going. And up from that is everything you get in Economy Green, plus you have a little more flexibility in what you have. So it's fully refundable, except for 70 euros. The one before that was not. You get a carry-on, you get a checked bag, you get priority boarding where available, and you can do same day flight change if you can. Interesting that you didn't get all the stuff that you got in economy flex in here, because they didn't mention all the economy flex stuff, and you don't get the bonus miles. So they're really pushing the economy flex. So let's pick that one. So now what it's going to do is, it used to be simple when you buy a ticket, but not anymore. It's just so many, it's just so complicated now. Okay, so we got here, I've chose economy green, and I guess this just gives me a little highlight of all the information and tells me what I'm getting for my economy green, et cetera, et cetera. So now I'm going to go enter passenger details, right? Now notice it gives me the baggage policy and it gives me the terms and conditions of my ticket, which I should review before I continue, because when I continue, this means I've agreed to everything here. So it gives you all the rules of the ticket. And so when people say, I never got the rules of the ticket, not true. The airline did provide them to you, right? Now, at this point, I still haven't told it who I am or what I'm doing yet. Now, how the systems work now, there's something called, there's Starline statuses. So what should happen is that if I sign in at this moment, I am able to tell the system who I am, and what it should do is give me, if I'm Starline's Gold, it'll give me slightly different things. Maybe if I don't think I'm eligible for upgrades on another carrier, even if I have elite status. When they first started, you used to get that, but they kind of wised up and they don't do that anymore. But this is the page that you would use to enter your frequent flyer number from a Lufthansa partner, right? This is the enter your information, personal information page. And so what you can see here is you put your title, and if you want to be addressed when you travel, you can put all this stuff in: Mr. Professor Doctor, Miss Professor Doctor, Mr. Professor, Miss Professor, Mr. Doctor, Miss Doctor, Mr. or Ms. Right? Now you have to choose one, because the airline system actually requires one. It's an old system and they require a title. That's just how the systems work. Okay, so here's where you put the miles and more. That's the name of the Lufthansa program, or your other program. And now when you enter here, you get the list, and voila, that is where you put your airplane number from Air Canada. Now notice the other airlines are here: Air New Zealand, Air Points. These are other. It's interesting that they have those three first. But anyway, there's ANA, and there's nothing in this one. There is actually one that's missing. Well, when I say missing, that there's nothing in that particular area. But so there's ANA, CX. Now notice they have CX. That's Cathay Pacific. Cathay Pacific is not a Star Alliance member. They're one world. However, though, you can get the miles. So you can get Cathay Pacific miles by flying a Lufthansa flight, because they have a relationship, right? So there's Asiana, there's Connect Miles, same way. That's Connect Miles is Copa. I wish I would put an airline name next to it so people can, because some people don't know the name of the program, but they know they're with Copa and they don't know the airline codes. I know the airline codes. It makes it easier for me, but most people don't know these. Flying returns is Air India. Flight pass is KM is Air Malta. BR is EVA. SQ is Singapore. LA is LATAM. So for example, LATAM is no longer a member of I think they were like they're one of the airlines. I think they got out of both alliances, so they're not in any alliance now. And of course, there's UA Mileage Plus. There's Aegean, Turkish, China Airlines, Thai, South African, and Sheba, which is Ethiopian, and TAP. So all the Star Alliance members are in here, plus Cathay Pacific. Go figure. So now what you do, you would select airplane and you put your airplane number in, and then you're good to go. And now your airplane number is going to be in the record, and now you will get your points from Lufthansa. What happens though is that these points are not it's not immediate. So that when I fly American and I'm on American, like pretty much within 24 hours, the points are there. This may take a little while for the points to get transferred, especially for like the smaller airlines. But for Air Canada, I would say maybe 24 to 48 hours, it should be in there. It is going to be there. Don't worry about it. They don't send an email, hey, your points are in. All that happens is you log into your airplane account and you see it. Now, how do you know how much you get? Okay, let's go figure that out. So remember we had the different ticket levels that you buy. If I get out of here and I want to quit without saving, because we've already accomplished what we wanted. Now what we want to do is we want to go find the Lufthansa partner section of the website. And okay, let's go miles and more because that's the name of the frequent flyer program. And we want to find the partner section, broaden your horizon, discover the more, miles and more, cash and miles, redeem. Sometimes they don't make it easy. Earn rewards. Normally they have like a little section that says that's their new status program, so they're changing some things. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. What I can do is just search for Lufthansa airline partners. And then normally all partners at a glance, miles and more. So it is actually in the miles and more section, which is a separate website that they have. And let's allow all. This is so much easier. So tell you about all the partners they have they can redeem. Now what I'm going to do is go find. So the Starlines partners are always separate, and I'm going to go find. And I made a mistake. I said CA for China Airline. It's actually Air China. I always mix them up. Where are we? Air Canada, right? Let's go back. Might be over here. Air Canada. Okay. So now this tells me what the relationship is between the two. So there are some offers. And what I'm looking for is there used to be a table that tells me how much I get. I may have to log in, but I didn't think I had to log in. Not a member. Miles given redeem on flights, accrued miles given for upgrade or travel awards. What it normally did was that it would tell me what I get, and it shows me the only business class and premium on my own Canadian carrier, Canada, where they fly. Okay, spend. These are just the offers. Air Canada. This takes me to the Air Canada website. Everyday benefits at a glance, credit cards, benefits when you travel, status benefits. This is not showing me what I need. Okay, so since I can't find it here, I'm going to go to Air Canada. Partner Airlines. Since I'm in the Air Canada program, it should tell me if I fly Lufthansa, how much I get, right? So let's look at this. I know it's never cut and dry, right? So let's go find Lufthansa here. ANA, Brussels, Bamboo. So see, Air Canada, they just announced a relationship with Emirates. Okay, so here's Lufthansa. These are the featured partners. Interesting that Emirates is a featured partner and they're not a Star Alliance partner. Okay, so now let's look at this and we can see. Here we go. So this is what I was trying. I thought Lufthansa had something like this on their website, but they don't. Well, if they did, I couldn't find it. But you can see this is what Air Canada has. So what they're telling me is the ticket I did was rest of the world. It was inter-European, sorry. And so I bought an economy, even though they have all the different economy plus and all that kind of stuff, but I'd only get 50% of the miles on there. So Frankfurt to Madrid is, tell you how much the distance between Frankfurt, because everything is done by miles. So if I do, this is my website, passrider.com. So if you ever want to, if you ever need to look up anything like mileage and stuff like that, this is a good place to go. Sorry, I clicked on the ad, didn't mean to. Let's close that. Okay. There is a feature if you don't want to see all the ads, you do go to passrider.com/join, and then you see fewer ads. Okay. So Frankfurt to Madrid, the first flight was on Lufthansa. That's what we're doing at 125. It's actually showing different flights. So they're doing a schedule change of some sort there. So the mileage is 885 miles if that's what we're doing. So now I'm going to go back to the air and I'll get 50% of that. Right now, if I had bought a business class ticket, J, C, D, or Z, Z is like a discounted business. J and C are usually the full business class amount, and D is also discounted. And P is what is P looks like P is actually discounted because P is only 50% here. So this tells you that if I was telling you about all the different class, one of those economy flex which I bought is actually one of these class. And so I get 50% is what I would get. So if you want to know when you get the thing, I'll get 50% of 885 is what's going to show up in my account as the number of miles that I'm getting from the Lufthansa, the airplane program, and they call them SQM. So I hope that helps. It's always a little difficult to find, but you get an idea of how difficult it is sometimes. So basically, you can go to your partner, your Air Canada, and then on Air Canada, you look at the partner, and they'll tell you how many miles. Now, Lufthansa is supposed to have something like this that says, if you're from Air Canada, this is how many miles you would get depending on what you fly and where you're going and all that kind of good stuff. So I hope that helps. If it did, let me know. If it didn't, also let me know. And then I will be more than happy to add a little more insight to the question. So this is Karen with PassRider.com, Cruisinaltitude.com. Have a great trip and talk to you soon.